My name is Megan Boone, and I am a 2020 graduate from the University of Northern Iowa. Go Cats! I wanted to just be really real with this video as it is my story. So here is my unprofessional, professional video. So looking back on all the memories and friendships college gave me will forever hold a spot in my heart. The innocent excitement when thinking back to when I was a freshman in Dancer Hall to graduating virtually in May with my bachelor's degree alongside some of my best friends is heartwarming to say the least. Now, I'm not going to continue talking sunshine and rainbows about those 4 great years because there would be no benefit to that, but there would be lots of laughs. What I wanted to talk about today was March 2nd, 2017. What I wanted to talk about today is that it can happen to anyone. It isn't something that is only mentioned in movies or the news. What if I told you that 8 out of 10 rapes are committed by someone the survivor knows? What if I told you that 1 in 5 women in college experience sexual assault, and the risk is higher within the first few months of their first and second years? Some of you watching this video are probably wondering why I'm giving out college statistics, as you are just in your beginning years of high school, or wherever you're at. This is the best time to listen to my story and all of the other stories you will hear. Right now is where you can make that change and be aware. You hold the power to hold yourself, your classmates, and other people accountable for their actions. My story starts back in first grade. I didn't know this at the time. I say it starts there because that's where I first became aware of a lifelong friend, or so I thought. I'm from a small town, about 25 people max in each elementary classroom. I graduated with 86 people in my high school graduating class. It's kind of thing where you know everyone in your town. So fast forward to high school, John and I were buddies. And for this video, I changed names for privacy reasons. John and I were buddies. We were in the same circle of friends. Every hangout we were there. Every football game I was cheering him on with the rest of the team. Every, hey, what's up? Following a hug was normal. Every laugh was genuine. Every dance competition our senior year when he joined the hip hop team was cherished. Our senior year, we found out we were going to the same college and even living in the same dorm. How awesome that we get to continue our friendship. And skip to August 2016. We are excited, like on top of the freaking world, starting a new chapter in life. Throughout the months, we are making new friends, getting adjusted to college courses, going out on the weekends as a typical freshman does, right? It wasn't unusual for John and I to study in one of each other's dorms with our friends during the week. It wasn't uncommon for us to introduce each other to our new friend groups. It wasn't uncommon for us to grab lunch or dinner together when our schedules aligned. It wasn't weird when he asked me to be his date for a formal that was going on in his fraternity. That's what friends do, right? What did change was when he expressed his feelings to me about extending the friendship line. This wasn't crazy news, as I had a feeling he wanted more, but I just saw him as a good friend. We got over that hump and just continued being friends. Then March 2nd, 2017 happened. A day that will forever change mine and so many others' lives. It was a Thursday. Remember that? It will hold significance for silly reasons. 2 of my friends and I were supposed to go to a movie that night. We planned it all week. Jane, Christy, and I were talking about this movie when some of our guy friends sat down next to us at dinner. There were a couple guys who we didn't know and were quickly introduced to them and found out they were from out of town visiting. The question that started the story, that Thursday story, was, you guys should come out with us. Want to come over around 7 p.m.? After much deliberation, we decided, YOLO, the movie can wait. We got ready and headed to their dorm for a night out with a great group of friends. The dorm consisted of card drinking games and laughing about dumb stuff we did. We were all letting off some steam as midterms were the following week, so the weekend was going to be a fun-filled, wild study party. So one of my last memories is receiving a text from John asking what I was up to that night and if I wanted to study. I told him I wasn't going to study that night, but he should come out and meet us at the bar. He declined and said he was going to study and told me to have fun. I received this text as we were walking to the bar from the dorm. I don't remember being at the bar. I don't remember John being there or talking to him or even receiving a drink from him. I don't remember leaving the bar by myself. I don't remember leaving Jane. I would never do that. I don't remember falling down getting to the dorm. I don't remember putting on my PJs and climbing into my loft. I don't remember this because Jane and I were drugged by John. Although it can't be written down as proof that it happened as it goes out of your system once you go to the bathroom with observation and suspicion, we can say that it is true. Friday morning, I awoke in my loft with 2 phones by my head. I instantly knew it was Jane's. Why the heck did I have her phone? How crazy did the night get? I thought. I was then hit with a funny feeling in my head and tummy. I was so dizzy. I've had hangovers before, but this was just weird. I quickly dismissed this and just laughed it off. Crazy Meg, what did you get yourself into? I thought. As I checked my phone, the messages started coming in from Jane and I's friend group. They were asking where we were and how the night was. I texted back, I'm good, but why do I have Jane's phone? The search was started. A couple of our friends checked her room. She wasn't there. Weird. After some time of searching, we found her in the lounge. She was in her clothes the night before, but with some untidiness to it. I called my mom after we found her, and I can remember her saying, Megan, are you okay? I'm worried about you. You're slurring your words. But I didn't think anything of it. Jane, myself, and a couple of our friends went to breakfast. Jane and I were acting weird, confused to say the least. We tried piecing the night back together, but had such a hard time. Why was Jane in the lounge? Her room was literally right next to the lounge. As we were at breakfast, John came by and said something about being hungover and if we were okay. This was when I found out that he came out and saw us at the bar. I was so confused. Why don't I remember him? Why don't I remember being at the bar? He said that I left the bar alone. The video footage proves this. And he walked Jane back after they went to Domino's. Oh, good. She got back home safe with someone we knew. We found out at breakfast that her room was locked, so that is why she ended up in the lounge. Jane always keeps her key on her wrist, though. It would have been simple to find. Oh well. We are safe. How funny the night ended, right, though? That's what we thought. We didn't think any more of Thursday until Sunday night. Us girls were just hanging out in the lounge where we found Jane. We were studying when Jane came up to me telling me she doesn't feel right in her abdomen area. She was on her period, but something just didn't feel right. She was trusting her gut. It was late. It was about 10 or 11 p.m. So urgent care wasn't open. So we decided that going to the hospital just down the road was the best option. When we got there, we explained to the front desk that we were wanting to be seen for Jane's painful abdomen. I thought that maybe she had 2 tampons in was her mind that night. A careless mistake, forgetting that you had one. You had 2 in there. So we were ushered to an exam room. When explaining to the lovely Karen nurse, her name was literally Karen, that we think that there were 2 tampons in because of a night out and things just happened. We were immediately scolded because we went out on a Thursday. How dare we do that? And how old are we? That just didn't sit well with me. She fit her name to a T, and I will never forget her. The doctor came in and removed the tampon. We were then told that it wasn't just a forgetful moment, that there was some visible scarring. If you get what I'm getting at, he meant that it wasn't a tampon that caused that damage. Toxic shock syndrome was the first thing that came to my mind. As a woman, we are told this happens if menstruation products are kept in too long, like tampons. You can get really sick. Thank God Jane didn't get sick after 3 days. As a concerned friend, though, I then asked the nurse Karen for a drug test. That was pretty reasonable. She refused, saying that it's out of our system and it would be silly to get one. I then asked her if we could get a rape kit done after her hearing about the scarring. We were simply asked if she was found with her underwear on, and when we nodded our heads yes, it was assumed that she had not been assaulted. This would be okay if it weren't capable for other people to put on underwear for you. I can't believe that we were dismissed like that, still to this day. We were told to always respect and trust medical professionals as they care about us. But I did not feel respected or cared for. So after leaving the hospital, Jane's dad and sister knew something else was up and made it our mission to fill in the missing pieces of Thursday night. I told my roommate that there was no way that the guy who walked her home, a guy I grew up with, would do anything because I trusted him. I trusted him. John reassured us that all he did was bring her back to his room to drop off a jacket, then took her to the lounge because the room was locked. Each time he told the story, a detail was added. It was a small one, but they added up. Not even thinking he was the perpetrator, I asked him if someone might have followed them that night. But no was the answer. No, because no one needed to follow them. The danger was within the acquaintance. We didn't determine anything had happened until Monday evening when John confronted my roommate after one final text stating that she's going to press charges if he doesn't tell the whole story. We just thought he was covering up for someone. He didn't answer the text, but went to find Kate in person. He admitted something happened. His words, I only stuck it in a couple times. And then he only was untruthful because he didn't want his girlfriend finding out and then walked out of the room. I remember this so well that Monday evening. I was in the cafeteria eating supper around 5, and I get a call from Kate saying I need to come to her right away. And so I went up there. And immediately after, I went to the RA, who we both knew quite well when she called the cops, which followed with campus security administrators. Jane and I were rushed to Allen Hospital in a police car where we were both given an advocate and rape kits, mine to just be on the safe side. Kate, Jane, and Christy were all there. Riding in the back of a police car in a situation like that is numbing. So many thoughts running through your head. We weren't taught how to handle these situations. Rape is only considered rape if it's by a stranger, right? That's the story that's displayed on movies, TV shows, tragic stories, and the news. The only stories that are broadcasted are the most tragic, gruesome by the scary stranger hiding in a dark alley. The amount of love, though, that we had was overpowering, as 5 of our closest friends were there with us, and our frantic parents rushed to see us. The date rape drug, roofies, goes out of your system right after you pee. So we were confirmed without a test. It was confirmed by witnesses describing our behavior and our observations about ourselves and how we felt Friday morning. I remember all the emotions, interviews, police interrogation type of meetings that followed. I remember the emotions displayed on Jane and her family in that hospital room. So this was Monday. This typical Monday was the start of midterms. We couldn't take our midterms, Jane and I, because we were outrageously sick from all the pills we had that prevented STDs and the sickness that was deep down inside, the sickness that has no medicine to cure it. I remember crawling to the bathroom on the 12th floor, having my roommate at the time bring me things to the bathroom because I couldn't get myself to get out of there. I remember being huddled up in Jane's room together, watching movies and waiting for the next meeting with the campus police and the Cedar Falls police. Having to recall the night over and over again was horrible. Forgetting some things, remembering it later, asking if I could just please remember. But we did it, though, because we wanted to fight. We wanted to get justice. The character questions were what really sucked. The questions I'm talking about are, did you girls really go out during the week? Do you guys usually do that? What were you wearing? Do you think you maybe drank too much? Do you think Jane maybe had too much? I know it's the police's job to collect as much evidence and more of the story from both sides, but the simple fact is that John disrespected Jane's body, and there's nothing okay about that. I was getting angry. Like, why did these things matter? The guilt I held of not being able to stop this killed me. The guilt I held that I was the person that introduced John and Jane was what actually killed me inside. That guilt is something that I had to get over on my own, knowing that it wasn't our fault. It was John who made that choice. The world we live in is skeptical to question the perpetrator, but encouraged to question the survivor of assault. Isn't that crazy? It's common for survivors to feel guilty. Well, if only I was wearing something different. Maybe I was being too flirty. Maybe it is my fault. No is no. No consent is no consent. The professors were incredible and so understanding. I will forever remember the compassion they held for us while we had to explain, more in depth with others as I was closer to some, but why we were unable to take midterms during the expected time. I hope they know and will forever know that that's part of the push as why we kept fighting. Um, Fast forward to August 2017, about a week before school starts back up. Jane won her university trial against John, which expelled him from going to the University of Northern Iowa on his properties. This might have seemed mean or a shock, but it was hard walking past in between classes. Like you and I had a pretty small campus. Um, and now, as I said in the beginning, John and I went to the same elementary, middle, high school. We grew up in the same small town. News of what happened traveled quickly. This caused sides to be taken. There's no way that he could have done this. I could relate to this because I at one point too didn't think he could. The hateful comments were brought to my attention. Friendships were broken because of the side I took, but what kept me going was the support that outweighed the negative. Now, today is October 5th, 2020. To this day, it has been almost 2 months since the criminal trial happened. Did you notice the date? Yes, that is right. It took 3 years and 5 months to get justice. 3 years and 5 months of fighting. 3 years and 5 months of continually telling the story. So many days of wondering if giving up and dropping the case will be easier. So many days of knowing that giving up isn't going to help the next survivor. Now, the trial was bittersweet and full of emotions for me. I know bittersweet is a weird describing word, but after so much time was put into it, it was a chapter that was wanting to be closed. But the strength and voice that came out of it is something that I'm grateful for. The trial gave me closure, but it also brought me anger. Anger that there was a video footage of Jane being brought back into the elevator while trying to leave on the floor that she lived on. Was brought back into John so she could go to his room where she wasn't even able to stand on her own. She wasn't even able to stand up on her own. She was leaning on him. Anger, happiness, confusion, and so many emotions were brought out that day. I would have never gotten the opportunity to be so passionate about sexual assault awareness. I would never have the ability to be vulnerable talking about the struggles Jane and I faced. The way I can be empathetic with other survivors and can connect with them is something that I would never be able to do if I didn't tell my story. I'm so proud of Jane and her family for fighting and not giving up. It inspired myself and so many others that their story and voice matters. You're not alone, and if you think you are the only one, then please, please reach out to me. The resources and organizations I've been introduced to because of the route I have taken, because of what happened, is amazing. I know more about how trials happen, how the process goes, along with the trial. I have a hard time trusting people now. Trust is pretty big in relationships and friendships, so that has been hard to work on. But when I go out to the bars with friends, I get anxious as to where everyone is. I only feel okay when I buy my own drinks. I watch drinks getting poured for my friends, and I watch like a mama hawk. Yes, everyone should be doing these things, and they may seem like easy inconveniences, but it can be really exhausting and alert all the time when it's a time to be relaxed. Right now, as high school students, is the perfect time for you all to spread the word of holding each other accountable. Rape is rape. In this instance, John was good at sports. He was well known, and his family holds powerful roles and friendships in the community we are both a part of back home. Like I said, rape is rape, no matter if it's your friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, or stranger. Rape is rape. It's difficult to push for a cause like this when you're up against power defenders, expensive lawyers, half of the town. The thing is, though, they can't erase the past. They can't take your story away from you. You are the only one in control of your body and what happens to it. You're the only one that can give consent. If someone can't respect that, then they don't deserve to be in your life. You deserve people who respect you and your body. Did I know that John would one day do this? Did I trust him not to do this? Did I think that my dad Um, him constantly saying, Megan, don't always keep an eye out on your drink. Don't take your eye off of it. Did I think that would ever come back into my face? Did I think my freshman college year would consist of police interviews and riding in the back of a cop car to do a rape kit? The answer is obviously no to all of these. That was never a thought. You can't control what happens sometimes, but you can control how you deal with it and what you can learn from it. What I'm asking from you is to support this cause. If you're watching this video, you're obviously in or interested in the STOP or MVP program, and I applaud you for that. Thank you. What I'm also asking is that you support that friend, stranger, family member, or whoever that you know that has been assaulted. I didn't stop and I won't stop fighting. There is no putting this behind me. The thing that I get a lot is, Megan, that happened so long ago. Why don't you just forget about it? Stop dwelling in the past. What we're doing is we're not dwelling in the past. We're fighting for the present. We're fighting for our future. We're fighting for other people's future so we can put a stop to violence. And although I got turned down in some situations where my story wasn't wanted or my voice wasn't wanting to be heard, there were so many other great opportunities who encouraged me to just yell it from the rooftops kind of thing. So just be there to hold that survivor's hand, dry their tears, and fight alongside them. Like I said, reach out to me. I gave my contact info to the people in charge of the STOP and MVP and whoever organization you may be a part of. Again, thank you for listening to my story. Thank you.